I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone, not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. Since when was I ever alone? I led the greatest army known, and every soldier that I command has placed his life squarely in my hand. And this is my testament to time. No one ever had soldiers like mine. And this is my testament to time. No one ever had soldiers like mine. I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone. Oh, look in the distance, here comes Habib. He's left everything to be with me. And when I pray in the battlefield, look as Sa'id becomes a shield. I swear it's by each arrow in his chest that each of my soldiers is the best. I swear it's by each arrow in his chest that each of my soldiers is the best. I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my body's broken. I'm not alone, I'm not alone, I'm not alone, alone. My body's broken, my body's broken. Oh, look at the valor of my youth. Look at this army of 72. Each one in my love is fully blind. Each claims to be standing first in line. And Hur will leave you just as he can. And Hur will leave you just as he can. But no one left the side of Hussein. And Hur will leave you just as he can. But no one left the side of Hussein. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone. And sure there will come a time to pass when each of them will have breathed their last. And sure there will come a time to pass when each of them will have breathed their last. And at that moment I'll draw my sword. The son of Haydar fights for his Lord. All of creation has now been shown. All of creation has now been shown. Soldiers of God are never alone. Soldiers of God are never alone. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. Yeah. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Since when was I ever alone? I led the greatest army known, and every soldier that I command has placed his life squarely in my hand. And this is my testament to time. No one ever had soldiers like mine. And this is my testament to time. No one ever had soldiers like mine. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Oh, look in the distance, here comes Habib. He's left everything to be with me. And when I pray in the battlefield, look as Sa'id becomes a shield. I swear it by each arrow in his chest that each of my soldiers is the best. I swear it by each arrow in his chest that each of my soldiers is the best. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken. My body's broken. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Alone. My body's broken. My body's broken. Oh, look at the valor of my youth. Look at this army of 72. Each one in my love is fully blind. Each claims to be standing first in line. And Hur will leave you just as he can. And Hur will leave you just as he can. But no one left the side of Hussein. And Hur will leave you just as he can. But no one left the side of Hussein. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone. And sure there will come a time to pass when each of them will have breathed their last. And sure there will come a time to pass when each of them will have breathed their last. And at that moment I'll draw my sword. The son of Haydar fights for his Lord. All of creation has now been shown. All of creation has now been shown. Soldiers of God are never alone. Soldiers.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Dear Shaykh Usama, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We welcome you once again to another night of our Muharram program. Inshallah, to start off tonight's program, I would like to welcome our dear brother Muhammad Abbas for some recitation from the Holy Quran. Please help me welcome him with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. ثانية على حب الزهراء صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا. إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا. إنا هديناه السبيل إما شاكرا وإما كفورا. إنا للكافرين سلاسل وأغلالا وسعيرا إن الأبرار يشربون من كأس كان مزاجها كافورا عينا يشرب بها عباد الله يفجرونها تفجيرا يوفون بالنذر ويخافون يوما كان شره مستطيرا ويطعمون الطعام على حبه مسكينا ويتيما وأسيرا ويطعمون الطعام على حبه مسكينا ويتيما وأسيرا إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا إنا نخاف من ربنا يوما عبوسا قمطريرا فوقاهم الله شر ذلك اليوم ولقاهم نضرة وسرورا صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات على محمد وآل محمد.
Ahsan, Brother Muhammad. Another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, dear Shaykh, brothers and sisters, once again. Thank you all for joining us for this Muharram. Inshallah, we will continue the program tonight, tomorrow, and inshallah there will be the Maqtal at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, inshallah. So inshallah, that's the first reminder for everybody. We will be sending a flyer in the community chat as well. Just a reminder, there is a program for 3 to 6 year olds. Registration is till 7:30, just walking down the stairs. Inshallah, we want to make sure that all families feel welcome. For the younger children, younger than 3 years old, if they need a little bit more room, the cafeteria is available for them to run around, and when you feel like they're ready, the parents will come back up with them, inshallah. Inshallah, if we could please recite Surah Al-Fatiha for all the martyrs in Gaza, all the martyrs around the world, and inshallah all your marhumin. Inshallah, I'd like to welcome our dear brother Hassan Saleme for some recitation of poetry. If you could please help me welcome him with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. Dear brothers and sisters, respected Shaykh Usama, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. What did it look like to see a mountain on horseback, whose strike could only be perceived as a lion's attack? The devil's army must have wondered if this was Ali resurrected and brought back. For the speed of the sword that would glimmer, the spines that would shiver, fear of enemies triggered, and at this moment enter shimmer. O Abbas, his twisted tongue would say, there are family relations between us, and if you abandon this battle today, there is safety for you and your brothers if from it you part ways. Abbas responds, you offer me safety from pain, but you offer no safety to the Prophet's son Hussein. May the curse of Allah be upon you and upon your promise of safety from being slain. And as the test of time repeats itself, and the same offer today the oppressors are presenting to the resistance that Abu al-Fadl today are representing. Abandon Palestine and you will be safe. Take the logical choice. Don't be insane from the terrorist list. We will remove your name. Just leave this Palestinian aim. But as the son of Abbas, Sayyid Hassan many years ago would proclaim, as his master Abbas in Karbala's plains, different occurrences across time and space, but the answer the same in the tyrant's face. May God's curse be upon you and your promise to be safe. Brothers and sisters, aren't we all in their place and predicament standing? Muslims in the West, through excuses laced in the appearance of a difference in religious understanding, are told not to speak out for Palestine. Out of fear we will be accused of committing a crime. Don't cross the line, not even in simply words, to support the victory of the resistance. Don't say their names. Don't acknowledge their existence. Don't rock the boat. This is where we and our kids dwell. So we ask, what about the kids being slaughtered in an earthly hell? Do you offer us safety if we stay silent and continue going to work, school, and taking vacations, while the children and people of Palestine are facing slaughter and devastation with Stockholm Syndrome, thinking that this government and this nation is what gave us dignity and elevation? Yes, this can be our home. Yes, this can be our home, but this land, like all lands, belongs to God. And it is our duty to use whatever we can to make the truth clear and eliminate the facade that this world is for glamour and material success, while your comfort here has come upon the backs of those they oppress. Will you be silent like those who were silent when they cut Hussein's neck? Is it worth it to be silent and sell your soul for a check? No one is saying that in this world do not work, do not progress, do not invest, but just ensure that your profits are in line with what the Prophet said. Who, when a Muslim calls out, "O Muslims, I need your help, I need you to me defend," and we don't answer that call and pretend that our worship has meaning, while the Prophet in hadith after hadith would contend that if we do not stand up, that from him our relationship will cut and end. What excuse will we have on why this test we didn't pass? What excuse will we have when we stand before Abbas? What could be seen? What could be seen when you traced back the tracks of the moon's path? What was the stance of the warrior of white, enlightened, glimmering from above, giving tranquility to the frightened? So if you say you love Abbas, the protector of the youth, then how can you not proclaim your love for the ones Abbas lives on through? Who inside their bodies and souls, Abbas lives. Who went to the river to fetch the water for the kids, who inside of it his strong hands would swim, but abandoned his own comforts to be a warrior for his brother and the women and children. The one who on the front line would not stop fighting until he gave every limb. How can you not say you love the ones who today most resemble him? How can you say you love Abbas, but not every single muqawim? Labbaik ya Abbas! Labbaik ya Abbas! Labbaik ya Abbas! Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Ahsan, Brother Hassan, another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters, once again. Inshallah, I just wanted to remind everybody, for those who walked in a little bit later, inshallah, the maqtal will be this Tuesday at 9 a.m. Inshallah, we will be having it live here, so we ask everybody to please join us 9 a.m. on Tuesday, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Inshallah, I just wanted to remind everybody, inshallah, of the fundraiser for Hadi Institute. Brother Nasir is going to be on the front desk. I just wanted to remind everybody how important it is for your support during these nights. Inshallah, whatever you are able to contribute, one of the principles that we have here at Hadi is whatever donation you're able to contribute is inshallah welcome and respected and inshallah appreciated. If we could all give a little, it's better than having one person trying to take the responsibility of all of us as a community. So whatever anybody's able to support, as little you are able to, as much as you are, if we do it as a community, it's much easier and it's much more honorable rather than having one person trying to take care of the responsibility for all. So inshallah, I urge you on this night of the greatest supporter to Imam al-Hussein, if we could all inshallah do our part and be a supporter of our youth and inshallah the future generations. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Inshallah, without any further ado, I'd like to welcome our dear teacher, our scholar, our leader, Shaykh Usama, with 3 loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome everybody. Alhamdulillah, Allah has given us the tawfiq to gather here once again to be able to benefit from the teachings of Abu Abdullah and this school of Karbala. Brothers and sisters, these nights have gone by very quickly. If you think about it, it's already been 9 nights, 9 days and nights that we've been able to spend with one another here in this tent, the tent of Abu Abdullah. And I say this to you, brothers and sisters, as a reminder for us to understand the blessing that we currently have. On the Day of Judgment, when you and I are shown our record of deeds, we're going to all see every single action that we've taken. It'll be replayed for us in such a way that we will witness and we will even know our niyyah for every single action that we did. Right? We're told in the hadith that people are sleeping. When they die, they wake up, right? An-nasu niyam idha matu intabihu. What happens is, on that day, which is coming for all of us, again, none of us know how many times again Allah will give us the tawfiq of coming here and benefiting from the teachings of Abu Abdullah. We don't know. Will we even get tomorrow? We have no idea. What happens though is that for these hours, this time that we spent with one another, learning about Abu Abdullah, when we see this in our book of deeds, we will be very happy. We will be joyous. You see, brothers and sisters, the malaika, when people die, this is from the hadith now, because brothers and sisters, as the brother mentioned, the idea of infaq. I want to mention a hadith for you about infaq in the way of Abu Abdullah in particular. These nights that Allah has given us. These are days and nights from our life that we never get back. I want to talk about the rewards of doing infaq for Abu Abdullah, but I first want to mention this one hadith from Amirul Mu'mineen. What Amirul Mu'mineen does is he says this to us. When people die, normally, when the rest of people die, regular people ask this question. Innal janaza idha humilat. When a janaza is being carried, one day there'll be people gathered around us, they'll be escorting us towards our grave, inshallah. When a janaza is being carried, Amirul Mu'mineen says, normal people, regular people ask, well, what did that person leave behind? They're thinking about material things. What did that person leave behind? The angels ask a very different question. Amirul Mu'mineen says that the angels, the innal janaza idha humilat qalat an-nas ma tarak. What did he leave behind? Wa qalat al-malaika. The angels, the malaika on the other hand, they say, mada qaddam. What did this person sin for themselves for the day when they would be alone in their grave? Now, with that in mind, brothers and sisters, this time that Allah gave us the tawfiq to be in the tent of Abu Abdullah, learning from Abu Abdullah, it's something spectacular. Again, even if I share this one hadith for you, keep this in mind. The Ahlul Bayt, alayhimus salam, they formally said this: we don't tell the people all of the fada'il of being with Abu Abdullah, being in his service, we don't say that. We're afraid of what it would do if people heard the real benefits, right? So this is the amount that they could share with us. Once, amen. So remember the question: what is the reward of doing infaq, of my time, my energy, my life, and the way of Hussein? A person asked, he said, ما لمن ينفق في المسير إلى أبيك الحسين عليه السلام. What is the reward? Alhamdulillah, this man asked this question. What is the reward of the person who does infaq in the way of your father Hussein? What's that reward? And let me, before I tell you the hadith, the reward, let me take this moment to thank and appreciate everyone who has done their infaq so far, whether that is the security that we have, whether that is the mokib outside, whether that is this beautiful backdrop, the black curtains, the red lights, whether that's our majlis reciter, those who've recited Quran, those who've recited poetry for us, those who've written poetry. Some of the things that are being written, the poet is somebody else. The poet, they had a talent in another way. They wrote for Abu Abdullah. So we thank and appreciate all of those individuals, those people who volunteered. There's people who are making sure the rugs are clean. There's people who are taking our kids and making sure the children have a children's program. There's people who came up with the initiative. Let's have the children recite Latmiya. Let's let them from an early age get used to coming before other children and reciting praise of Ahlul Bayt. So all of those individuals, anybody who contributed in any way, inshallah, they will receive their reward from Abu Abdullah. In particular, I would like to thank the parents. Those parents who had the foresight and the wisdom to bring their small children with them. Those parents who don't think my kid just wakes up at 14 and then they are suddenly a great lover of Abu Abdullah. The parents knew, and particularly I want to thank the mothers, who knew that yes, it's true, my child's sleeping schedule will be off. They might be a little bit cranky. They might run around at the majlis. I might have to take them. I might have to go downstairs. But that mother or that father who was thinking in advance, they said that if I want my children and my children's children to be stronger, their Islam to be stronger than my Islam, that's sacrifice. Those people who did that, inshallah, they will receive their reward from Abu Abdullah. All of this was necessary. Now, brothers and sisters, salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So back to the original question. Let's say Allah granted me the tawfiq to spend in the way of Hussein, my time, my energy, my ears, my eyes, whatever I could. What's the reward? The Imam's now responding. فَقَالَ يَبْنَ السِّنَانِ, O son of Sinan, يُحْسَبْ لَهُ بِالدِّرْهَمْ أَلْفْ وَأَلْفْ. I'll start off in this way, the Imam said. For every dirham that the person spends in the way, the path of Hussein, it will be counted. Alf wa alf, and the Imam kept counting until he did it 10 times. What about what happens in paradise for a person who does infaq for Abu Abdullah, that targeted spending for Abu Abdullah in particular? The Imam says this, وَيُرْفَعُ لَهُ مِنَ الدَّرَجَاتِ مِثْلُهَا. The ranks that Allah bestows in the hereafter, the same way that we talked about the wealth, the same way will ranks be bestowed on this person in the hereafter. And then the Imam talked about what's even more important. What's more important than paradise? What's more important than ranks? What's more important than every dirham that I gave being counted thousands and thousands of times? The Imam says, وَرِضَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ لَهُ. When we witness the pleasure of God, the Imam says that's better. What else do you get? What else is a gift for spending in the way of Abu Abdullah? He says, وَدُعَاءُ مُحَمَّدٍ وَدُعَاءُ أَمِيرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْأَئِمَّةِ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّلَامُ خَيْرٌ لَهُ. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. In addition to that, the dua of Ahlul Bayt, when they're praying for you, because they see every single person who attends the majlis, their dua for you is far greater than anything that we can imagine. Now, brothers and sisters, before we get into our actual lecture tonight, allow me to give a reminder. We're talking about the idea of spending in the way of Allah. Brothers and sisters, there is a good brother, 2 good brothers. Our brothers and sisters in Houston are trying to raise money for their defense. 2 very good brothers. What was the crime of these 2 brothers? The crime of these brothers is that they were trying to break the siege on the people of Yemen. That's if you look at the case. Why is it that they got Sayyid Muzammil Sayyid? The real crime was they were trying to break the siege on the people of Yemen. They were thinking, let's get some money. It's a drop in the bucket, but let's get it to those people. Now, as you and I have learned from Gaza, those who commit genocide like to be able to do it calmly. They like that nobody pushes back, nobody complains. If you remember the protests here in America, some people were surprised. They said this, they said, how can it be a crime to say, stop killing kids? You kidding me? I'm gonna get arrested, I'll be tased if I say, stop killing kids? Yes, brothers and sisters, the Yazids of the time are like that. I want to be able to do crimes against humanity and everybody's silent, just a spectator. That's what they like. We learned that they've always been like this. I want to mention an ayat of Quran for you. They've always been like this. In the time of Nabi Lut, right? So now we have the LGBT community, Qawm Lut rights. In the time of Nabi, this is ayat of Quran. In the time of Nabi Lut, one family resisted. One family stood up and said no. The Zalimeen at that time, who are the same Zalimeen right now, those Zalimeen said this, because they were furious with those people. I want you to pay attention to the Arabic of this. Surah 7 and verse number 72. وَمَا كَانَ جَوَابَ قَوْمِهِ. There was no response from his people, the Qawm of Lut, illa, except that they said this. قَالُوا, they said, أَخْرِجُوهُمْ مِنْ قَرْيَتِكُمْ. Kick them out of the city. Why? What was their crime? What did they do wrong? Drive them out of the city. It says, ayat of Quran, إِنَّهُمْ أُنَاسٌ يَتَطَهَّرُونَ. They are a people, truly they are a people who want to stay pure. That's a crime. You don't get to. These modern day pharaohs are like that. So brothers and sisters, in addition to, obviously, we're trying to do infaq, everybody will try and find out, everybody's resources are limited, right? The whole concept of infaq. I'm trying to spend it in the right way, in the best way. One of the ways, which would be a good way, is to keep in mind these brothers and sisters, because the government's trying to make a case out of this, teach a lesson in this. So it'd be good if brothers and sisters can support. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, brothers and sisters, this year's Muharram lecture series has been titled Roots of Righteousness, Tarbiyah on the Path of the Awaited One. You and I, we've been coming together for 9 days today, including today, trying to prepare for the coming of the Imam. We've learned that not only do we have to get ourselves ready, but we have a responsibility to try our best to get our children ready. Not only ourselves, our children. That led us to the idea that you and I, it's good to have a plan for the second 7 years. Objectives, goals. In order to find out what our goals should be, we went to the words, the wise words of our leader, Imam Khamenei, and looked at some of the goals that he has defined for us. If we want our youth to be Ashura'i, if we want them to be beneficial, let's look in the words of the leader regarding tarbiyah and see what are the things he put his hand on, things that he pointed out. If we identify those goals, then as a father and mother, as parents, we say, okay, well, I want my kids to be like this. As a school, we say, well, let's work, let's make this part of the curriculum. As brothers and sisters, when we're taking the hands of the youth, we're not just saying, be good Muslims. We have defined goals, and we're trying to slowly work towards some of those goals. So, brothers and sisters, today, if Allah gives tawfiq, I'm going to mention some of the goals. I might be able to cover, because we have about 30 minutes, I might be able to cover 4 of the goals. If not, then I may stop on just the 3rd goal, and then inshallah we will go from there to Karbala. First, salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. One of the beautiful words of the leader is this, Imam Khamenei. He says this, God wants us to be strong. When you are an abd of Allah, you are powerful, brothers and sisters, an abd of Allah. One of the strategic goals of the leader is that you and I, this is for ourselves also, we should be people of regular exercise. Regular exercise. The leader says, not only should this be a habit for you, get your children and your youth, and he says, and especially your youth, to be people who regularly exercise. If you're a little older, I won't tell you guys how old I am. Well, I guess I can. I'm 51. For people who are my age, the leader uses words very necessary. He says it's a matter of life and death, wajib, right? And he talks about the idea of what happens if we don't exercise. I'm going to mention later Karbala and why this is so necessary. Why do we want to do this for ourselves, for our children? I'll mention that inshallah later. But he says, one of the things that being a person of regular exercise, and this is good while you're young to start doing, not to make it a habit, now I'm going to try and turn everything around, no, even then you have to, but if we could make this a habit from the time we were young, what does it help us with? One of the things it helps us with is premature aging. You and I, some of us remember our grandparents, and maybe some of you remember your great-grandparents. Some of you remember that older individuals in the old country, they used to be strong. Sometimes our older generation is stronger than our youth. Stronger as in very capable, right? Very capable. Now, brothers and sisters, one is it's going to help us in that way with the premature aging. It also helps us when it comes to developing our spirituality. It's a lot easier to exercise divine traits when you're healthy. Imam Khomeini talks about this in the 40 hadith. When you're healthy, it's a lot easier to have good akhlaq, to be patient. There's no excuse, even if I'm struggling with something, even if I'm in chronic pain, I'm dealing with a illness that won't get better, I still have to have good akhlaq. But it's a lot easier if we're healthy. It helps with our mental wellness. There's a lot of benefits. The leader says, even when it comes to avoiding depression, being physically healthy helps. Now, brothers and sisters, Karbala. Do you know how many, aside from Ahlul Bayt, aside from Imam Hussein himself, how many people in Karbala were companions and ashab of Rasulullah? Remember, Karbala, Imam Hussein is either 54 or 55. Right? He's older. How many of the companions of Rasulullah were there in Karbala? According to some accounts, 7 of the Prophet's companions who were there, because Imam Hussein would have been a child when the Prophet was alive, right? A child. Some individuals are there who are there older. I want to mention one of these individuals. One of the individuals who was there in the time of Rasulullah and also there in Karbala is this man, Anas bin Harith al-Kahili. Now, this man, when the time for Karbala came, he was so old. He was around 80 years old. He was so old, it's in the books of history. His eyebrows were so long, he had to put a headband on. A headband, he's an older individual. But wait till you hear about him fighting. He's one of the individuals who in both, because he was a companion of the Prophet of Allah, in Shia books and Sunni books, one of the people who narrated many hadiths from the Prophet of Allah, including the prediction of the Prophet of Allah about the day of Ashura, is this individual. Let me mention his hadith. It says, the Prophet speaking, Inna ibni hadha, truly my son this, yani al-Hussein, means Hussein, yuqtalu bi ardin, he will be killed in a land, yuqalu laha Karbala. The Prophet predicted this. Shia books, Sunni books. فَمَنْ شَهِدَ ذَلِكَ مِنْكُمْ. If any of you, O my ashab, if any of you are alive at that time, فَلْيَنْصُرْهُ. Then you go to his assistance. You connect the dots, you do this. Now Anas was somebody who got himself ready for this day. 80 years old. These things don't just happen overnight. Anas, years before, he moved to Kufa. I want to get my hands dirty. He moved to Kufa. On the day of Ashura, this man approached by the way, he had ghaira. I want to mention some of his epic poetry before I mention his battle. He refused to pass salams to Umar bin Sa'd. Apparently, it's two groups of the Muslims fighting. He said, no, we don't pass salams to kafirin. This is a battle of haqq and batil. Listen to his poetry. He says, Alu Aliyin, the people of Ali, Alu Ali, Shi'atul Rahman. These are the Shia of the Rahman. Wa Alu Harb, the family, the group of Abu Sufyan, Shi'atul Shaitan. This is haqq and batil. So this man who had prepared himself and got himself ready for the battle of his life, this individual, when it was his chance, he took permission from Abu Abdullah, he recited that hadith of the Prophet, and then he advanced to fight. 80 years old, but he's gotten himself ready. I'm waiting for my chance. They said he killed between 14 to 18 people. But that doesn't just happen. That's when I prepare for it. So back for ourselves now. If you and I are preparing for the Mahdi, and you want to be able to serve the Mahdi, and you want to be either infantry for the Mahdi, or somehow you want to get your hands dirty for the Mahdi, that means preparing. We've got to tell our children, brothers and sisters, exercise for the Mahdi is ibadah. People of exercise. We make time for that. We work. We live these active lifestyles. So if these are our role models, brothers and sisters, then we have to prepare for them. It's not just something that happens overnight. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Another strategic goal, brothers and sisters, that you and I want to have for ourselves and our children is friendship and familiarity with the Quran. A relationship of friendship and familiarity. I understand the Quran. I know the message of Quran. I get the Quran. Not just that I hold the Quran to be sacred. Everybody holds the Quran to be sacred. Friendship with the Quran, right? Brothers and sisters, we've all heard in that hadith, which is from our Prophet, definitely from our Prophet, about the two weighty things. What is the heavier of the two weighty things? The Quran. How much love do we have for Ahlul Bayt? How much do we identify with Imam? How much do we repeat their stories? How much are we friends with Ahlul Bayt? The weightier of the two things is Quran. Brothers and sisters, one of the goals for the Ashura'i family, I want to do something. We're going to start using our creativity. I would like, for myself and my children, I'm hoping by the time they're 14 that they'll be familiar with the Quran and friends with the Quran. And this is a question for us to think about as Ashura'i individuals who are getting ready for the return of the Imam. How much are we, and this is now just a question for all of us, how much are we friends with the Quran? How much do we read the Quran? How much have we made a plan for our children from 7 onwards where they will be friends of Quran, better friends than us? I want to quote something from one of our spiritual giants, one of our spiritual greats, Marhum Ayatollah Mujtaba Tehrani. He said this: if you want to speak to Allah, we take Allah as our friend. If you want to speak to Allah, he said, make salah. And let's see how much we're able to make sure our children have this in mind. If you want to talk to God, make salah. The hadith is beautiful. Ayyuhan nas, O people, Innal musalli, when the person who is praying, إِذَا صَلَّى, when he's offering his prayers, فَإِنَّهُ يُنَاجِي رَبَّهُ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى. When a person, a musalli, is offering his or her prayers, that person is doing munajat, is whispering to God. Then the Prophet continues. He says, فَلْيَعْلَمْ بِمَا يُنَاجِي. For this reason, the person who's speaking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who's whispering to him, that person should know what they're telling God. I should be paying attention in my prayers. I'm talking to the Creator. Allah wants to talk to me 5 times a day. I'm talking to God. The Ayatollah continues. He says, and if you would like Allah to speak to you, read Quran. Sometimes I want to talk to God, Salah. Sometimes I want Allah to speak to me, Quran. Brothers and sisters, if you're in love with someone, you like to read their messages. If your beloved writes a letter to you, you might read it over. Maybe now people don't write letters. Okay, text. If your beloved texts you, then you would say to him, oh, what did they mean with this? Read it over and over again. Listen to this hadith from Amirul Mu'mineen. When I'm reading Quran, am I doing it from a place of friendship that I enjoy Allah talking to me? If I do, Amirul Mu'mineen says this, لا يكن هم أحدكم. This shouldn't be the case that for any one of you, your whole focus and worry, آخر surah, that I'm just trying to finish this surah. I've got to read it as my checklist. Let me get through these ayat if it kills me. He said that shouldn't be the focus. Allah's my friend. I want to know what Allah said. Maybe I'm only going to get a few ayat verse done today. But on a daily basis, I refer to the Quran, and my focus isn't just, let me get my 50 ayat done. No, I want to savor this time with Allah. I want Allah to talk to me. So, our visionary leader wants us to become familiar with the Quran, right? To train our children so that they're friends with the Quran. Now, our leader can see something that most people can't. Remember the most recent letter to the university students? Do you remember the last line where he's talking to them? Where he started off in the beginning and he said, I'm on your side. You're part of the axis of resistance. You're on the right side of history. When he got to the end, he offered some strategic advice. He said, acquaint yourselves with the Quran. Get to read this book. There's something he can see. Brothers and sisters, right now, I want to talk about a little bit about politically what does it do. I'm going to mention 2 points, but first one of them. Right now, you're watching a speck on God's earth, Gaza. A speck on God's earth. For 9 months, Israel has done what it can. Literally, 3 times the amount of explosives that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki were dropped on these people. Still, you see the Palestinians standing and throwing punches. You and I then look, how much are those people of Quran? How are you able to stand and resist and fight and push back? 250,000 people butchered? You're still standing? Where do you get that strength from? Brothers and sisters, the leader knows, and I'm going to mention later what he said. But you and I, if you want to flip the lid on the mustakbirin, that book, Quran, is a book of miracles. It'll do amazing things. I'm going to mention a little bit about what it does to youth if they become friends of Quran. If a family is successful and they are able to do something, a school is able to do something, brothers and sisters are able to do something, so that youth in the state of purity, they, with this natural purity that you have as a youth, they become friends of Quran and start to recite Quran. There's a miraculous effect that Quran has on the tarbiyah of the youth. A miraculous effect. If a youth can come and read the Quran with an open heart, the Imam says this, Imam Sadiq, he says, Man qara al-Quran. So whoever is a person who recites Quran, wa huwa shabun. I still consider myself a youth though, by the way, inshallah. If you're young, if your children get this while they're young, they recite Quran, wa huwa shabun mu'min. So young, and I believe what I'm reading. I believe this is the word of God. What happens? اختلط القرآن بلحمه ودمه. What's the miraculous effect? The Quran itself will become mixed with the flesh and the blood of the person. You'd be surprised. A young person, if they read Quran and they are mu'min, they start to have a Quranic worldview. I'm going to talk a little bit later. What are some of the effects of the Quranic worldview? What does it do to a person? Inshallah, some of that later. Brothers and sisters, Karbala first. Karbala, brothers and sisters, other than the Ahlul Bayt, and the general state of all the Ashab, that they were all lovers of Quran, ready to sacrifice for themselves for the Quran, other than Ahlul Bayt and the general Ashab, there are several Quranic personalities. Individuals, some of them you've heard their names, who were champions in Karbala, but then when you read their stories, these individuals before Karbala had a special relationship with the Quran. I'll mention the names of some of them. One of them, who you've heard me mention before, we've talked about him before, his name is Burayr bin Khudayr. Burayr, a Quranic personality. Another one who we talked in more detail about, Nafi' bin Hilal, another Quranic individual. Some of them, brothers and sisters, were exceptional. Like, I'm not trying to encourage brothers and sisters to be at that level. That's the Ashab of Karbala, but at least we can move in that direction. Some of them were so exceptional. Habib ibn Madahir, you know that when you go to visit the Ashab of Imam Hussein, Habib has his own dhari. What was Habib's relationship like with the Quran? They said Habib, but again, this is not for us. Habib used to do khatam of the Quran once daily. Who else? Hanzala bin As'ad. Who else? Yazid bin Hussein with Saad. He was a qari of Quran, a teacher of Quran. If you remember the maqtals, brothers and sisters, sometimes when some of the companions would be killed, like Burayr, the man who murdered Burayr, his wife, and some say his sister, was also there in the other camp. And she was like, you killed the person who was the muallim of Quran to our kids? Burayr was a known personality. Relationship with the Quran, later with Abu Abdullah. That's other than the companions. And remember this, on the night before the battle, it says, وَبَاتَ الْحُسَيْنُ وَأَصْحَابُهُ. So the night before the battle, تِلْكَ اللَّيْلَ, on that night, وَلَهُمْ دَوِيٌّ. Those who were listening, they said that it was as if bees were humming. Quran, salah, prayers, connection with God. The next day, then you see them with that thing. So brothers and sisters, there are a couple of specific goals that the leader has set out for us, and we want to see if, again, we'll think about it now and then see, well, what are these, out of these goals? Can we realize these goals? Can we take them, as a family, can we be creative? Can we share them? Can we talk about them? What are some of the specific goals in order to have this family, which is Ashura? You and I, we're thinking of the Mahdi. Number one, brothers and sisters, is to be able for each and every person to be able to recite the Quran correctly in Arabic. Some of you were blessed with the Arabic language. Some of you were not blessed with the Arabic language as your second language or as your first language. Maybe you get more reward, because Imam Ali says, the greater the struggle, the greater the reward. But one specific goal, and the leader says there should be no exceptions, is that each and every follower of the Imam be able to recite the Quran correctly in Arabic, number one. Ideally, brothers and sisters, then we're going to have some individuals who can recite Quran beautifully. I don't know if we'll be able to cover this year, brothers and sisters, but the leader tells us that sometimes you as parents or you as teachers, you'll discover one of the children you're interacting with has a gift. Because you're working so closely with your own children, some of the children that you're interacting with, you'll see, my child is gifted in this way. Part of our job as parents, as teachers, is to help those individuals. One of those gifts is to be able to recite the Quran beautifully. When Imam Sajjad would recite Quran, literally people's knees would get weak because of how beautifully he recited. That's a gift. Now, translation. Another one that the leader says is that we should be making sure that we know the translation of the Quran. This is another goal. A goal for a school, goal for parents. Can I make it so that my children, when they're reading Quran, not just that they've done khatam of Quran, which is beautiful, but that they've gone through the translation of the Quran. The words of, the leader's telling university students, they don't read Arabic. Just read the Quran. Make yourselves familiar. Some of you have seen those videos when individuals who are not Muslims, they say, I just read the Quran. And you're surprised at the insights that Allah has shown them, let alone Shab Mu'min. Translation of the Quran. The leader says, if you're able to read and understand the Quran in Arabic, then do so. If you're not able to, the leader says, well, then work on your Arabic. Brothers and sisters, if we're able to have that class where we do mafahim of the Quran, there are classes where they will specifically teach you the main words that were repeated in the Quran so that as a non-Arabic speaker, I can know the majority of the Quran in Arabic. There's actually classes. In the meantime, brothers and sisters, until we understand, then we should be, our understanding or our relationship with the Quran should not be contingent to being blessed with the Arabic language. If I don't know the Arabic language, if I can't understand it in Arabic, then I shouldn't be reading it. No, it should not be contingent to that. We should be reading that translation of the Quran. Now, one of the things the leader had said before, this is now kind of strategic. If we can get, this is for the whole axis of the religion, of the resistance. The leader was saying it about Iran. He said that there's a certain number, if we can get this number of individuals to be familiar with the message of Quran, the teachings of the Quran, the leader says we will become invincible. The Quran is the book of Allah. If you can have individuals, a certain number of them, and they understand the message of the Quran, we will literally become invincible. Okay. Now, brothers and sisters, memorization, the leader says two things. For younger children, small surahs, they should be memorizing them. When it comes to memorizing the entire Quran, the leader says the ages of 12 to 13 are prime ages for us to be able to start working on memorizing the entire Quran. In the meantime, small children, trying to get them to memorize Quran, even if they're young, is good. The one thing the leader says is this: it shouldn't be forced on the children. The children shouldn't, that they're resisting, I don't want this. That's something that you and I, we have to keep in mind. Ayat of Quran is this: فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. Recite the amount of Quran, ayat of Quran. Recite the amount of Quran that's easy, right? The leader says, be creative. He says, even if it's giving prizes, let's say we're doing recognition, right? We're getting these small children to memorize the Quran. The one thing he does say about memorizing is this: memorizing the Quran in and of itself is not the goal. The reason there's so much emphasis on memorizing is for the real goal, which is pondering. If I have the Quran memorized, pondering, which is the real goal, is much easier. What are some of the things that come about as a result of pondering? Brothers and sisters, we'll become familiar with the teachings of the Quran. Our tawakkul will increase. Our fear of worldly problems and worldly issues will go down. We will believe Allah's promises even more. Now, brothers and sisters, you remember this about Imam Khomeini. The thing about Imam Khomeini was that Imam Khomeini believed God's promises more than anybody. You and I would like to get to a stage where we believe God's promises. One of those ways is reciting Quran. One story about Imam Khomeini, and then if we have time, at least I'll mention one part, at least the introduction to the next part, and then inshallah the rest for tomorrow. Brothers and sisters, so let's first the ayat of Quran. The reason or reminder is this. Allah says this in the Quran. The book of the Quran is this. Kitabun, it's a book. Anzalnahu ilayk. We caused the Quran to descend on you, Prophet. Why do we cause the Quran to descend on you, Prophet? Liyadabbaru ayatih. That they may ponder its verses. Us, the people. Now, brothers and sisters, one of the things that inshallah we'll talk about tomorrow is the idea of ghayrah. I didn't make it for today. Abbas is ghayrah of Allah. Ghayrah of Allah. Ghayrah, brothers and sisters, is going to lead to you and I not being able to take what happens in Palestine. But inshallah, we'll talk about that later. I want to give you one example of ghayrah and then inshallah, Karbala. Imam Khomeini, when the notorious Savak were coming for him, so the Savak did not like that he had went after the head of the snake. He mentioned Israel. He mentioned the Shah. He said Islam is in danger. They were coming after him. Imam Khomeini, when they stormed his house, so the Shah had his goons storm his house, Imam Khomeini says this. He says, I realize that they're coming for me. I didn't want anything. He said, I didn't want them to accidentally get my son, Mustafa. I didn't want that to happen. Not Mustafa, sorry. I didn't want them to get my son. So he said that what I did was I told them, I quickly put on my clothes. Imam Khomeini has ghayrah. He wants to take it on the chin. He wants to take the bully on by himself. Imam Khomeini told the people, he said that I am Khomeini, because they were trying to attack the people who worked in. He's like, I'm Khomeini. Come get me. Brothers and sisters, we end inshallah with salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. ثانية على حب الزهراء صلى على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وليا وحافظا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه وتمتعه. Brothers and sisters, invite the Imam to our majlis with your voices. Ya bana al-Hasan, Ya bana al-Hasan, Ya bana al-Hasan. O Mahdi, in this night so painful, guide our hearts, make our faith faithful. Like Abbas with courage bright, grant us the strength to stand and fight. Ya bana al-Hasan, Ya bana al-Hasan. Everyone, Ya bana al-Hasan, Ya bana. Assalamu alayka أيها العبد الصالح المطيع لله ولرسوله ولأمير المؤمنين والحسن والحسين. The 9th night is upon us. Throughout the year, our hope is in these nights. Now they're almost over. In these final nights, glance at us, Ya Sahib al-Zaman. Tonight we commemorate Abul Fadl al-Abbas, the pure embodiment of obedience to the Imam. One of the Urafa has said, the way to reach Imam al-Zaman is Abul Fadl al-Abbas. O Abbas, we have come empty-handed. Teach us how to be obedient to our Imam. When I recall the loyalty of the bravest one, from my tearful eyes diamonds run. If another Hussein graces this land, if another Hussein graces this land. Hayhat, no brother like Abbas will stand. Let's take our hearts to Karbala. Beneath the sun's relentless blaze stood Abbas with Hussein in his gaze, loyal to Hussein, his brother dear, his heart unwavering without fear. لما رأى العباس وحدة أخيه الحسين, when Abbas saw the loneliness of Imam Hussein, when he saw there was no one left, Bani Hashim had all been martyred, Abbas came to the Imam. Ya akhi, hal min rukhsa, oh brother, will you allow me to be sacrificed for you? Will you allow me to go and fight? فبكى الحسين بكاء شديدا. Imam Hussein began weeping intensely. ثم قال أنت صاحب اللواء. O Abbas, you are my flag bearer. وإذا مضيت تفرق عسكري. If you go, my army will fall apart. There is no one left. Which army is Imam Hussein referring to? Oh Abbas, you yourself are a whole army. You are the army of Hussein. Abbas called out, فقال العباس قد ضاق صدري. Oh brother, my chest feels heavy. Oh Abbas, at this moment you said your chest felt heavy. May I be sacrificed for your brother Hussein. Some time passed, you weren't there to see. There came a moment when your brother's chest became heavy. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. فقال العباس قد ضاق صدري غسلت من الحياة. Abbas said, I am tired of this worldly life. وأريد أن أطلب ثاري من هؤلاء المنافقين. I want to seek revenge from these hypocrites. فقال الحسين فاطلب لهؤلاء الأطفال قليلا من الماء. Go ask for a little water for these children. فذهب العباس. Abbas went towards the enemy's army. He began advising them ووعظهم وحذرهم وَلَمْ يَنْفَعَهُمْ. All the advice that he gave them didn't benefit them. They didn't listen. فَرَجَعَ إِلَىٰ أَخِيهِ فَأَخْبِرَهُ. Abbas came back to the Imam. He informed him as he is standing telling Imam Hussein what happened. فسمع الأطفال ينادون العتاش العتاش العتاش. He heard the voices of the children calling out, we are thirsty, we are thirsty. فركب فرسه وأخذ الرمح والغربة. He got on the horse, he grabbed his spear, he grabbed the water bag. وقصد نحو الفرات. He began moving towards the Euphrates River. Hussein asked for water for the children's sake. Abbas prepared a journey to make. 4,000 soldiers stood in his way, but Abbas was ready, come what may. فأحاط به 4,000 ممن كانوا موكلين بالفرات. Suddenly he was surrounded by 4,000 soldiers. وَرَمَوْهُ بِالنَّبَالِ. They shot him with arrows. The arrows were raining onto him. He fought through the ranks. His path he cleared to reach the river, the goal revered. He cupped the water as if to drink, but thoughts of Hussein made his heart sink. The narration says, فَلَمَّا أَرَادَ أَن يَشْرِبَ غُرْفَةً مِّنَ الْمَاءِ. As he filled his hands with water to drink, ذكر عطش الحسين وأهل بيته فرمى الماء. He remembered the thirst of Hussein and his family. He threw the water back. It says he remembered, but how could it be? Abbas is the embodiment of loyalty. How could it be that even for a moment he forgot about the Imam? This is just what the narrator was seeing. Maybe Abbas wanted to show the enemy, if I wanted to drink from this water, I could have. But I will never drink. My master Hussein is thirsty. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. وملأ الغربة. He filled the water bag. وحمله على كتفه الأيمن وتوجه نحو الخيمة. He carried the water bag on his right shoulder. He faced back towards the tents. He filled the water bag with care. Turned to the tents with a hopeful prayer. The enemy closed in from every side. فقدتوا عليه الطريق فأحاطوا به من كل جانب. The enemy closed in from every side, but Abbas's courage would not be denied. A blow to his right arm, he rode undeterred. Yet Abbas pressed on, not a word. His right arm was cut. والله إن قطعتم يميني إني أحامي عبدا عن ديني. Abbas won't be deterred. Even if you cut his right arm, he grabbed the water bag with his left arm. Then what happened? A blow to his left arm. Yet he pressed on. his courage and strength like the dawn. He held the bag tight between his teeth, determined to bring relief from grief. Oh, both of my arms were cut. This is just a small sacrifice for my master Hussein. I still have the water, I still have hope, but an arrow struck the bag was torn. But an arrow struck the bag was torn. The water spilled and hope was shorn. Abbas stood there in bewildered pain. فوقف العباس متحيرا. Abbas stopped in bewilderment. Where can I go now? I promised the children water. Now I have no water. I have no hands to go back and bring more water. As he is standing, I won't mention tonight what happened, but the narrator says, فَانْغَلَبَ فَرَسِهِ. He fell from his horse. May I be sacrificed for you. You had no arms to break your fall. All his life, oh master, he would say, in his final moments, he broke the fray. Oh brother, come help your brother's plight. His call echoed with Hussein inside. Hussein rushed to where Abbas lay. The moon of Bani Hashim dimmed that day. ورجع الحسين إلى المخيم. Abba Abdullah is coming back to the tent. منكسرا حزينا باكيا. With Abbas fallen, Hussein's heart did shatter. His strength and his support now did scatter. My back is broken, he cried in deep despair. My back is broken, he cried in deep despair. For no brother's love to Abbas could compare. Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. وعلى الأرواح التي هلت بفراق. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بغيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى السلام عليك يا أبا الفضل العباس أخي الحسين. السلام عليكم يا أهل بيت النبوة جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. يا حسين 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 يا حسين. Serving you is all I had sought. My honor will never be bought. They said that I remembered you. I say that I never forgot. For my Imam, I will not fail. My loyalty is not for sale. For my Imam, I will not fail. My loyalty is not for sale. لا أرى الموت إلا السعادة. لا أرى الموت لا حياة إلا الشهادة. لا حياة إلا الشهادة. لا أرى الموت إلا السعادة. لا أرى الموت لا حياة Hada, the river called, I heard its plea. For the children I fought to be. Though arrows struck, my will remained. In serving you I found my key. For every child and for Hussein I face my fate, enduring pain. For every child and for Hussein I face my fate, enduring pain. لا أرى الموت إلا السعادة. لا أرى الموت إلا السعادة. لا حياة إلا الشهادة. لا حياة إلا الشهادة. يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين. All together. يا حسين 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 يا حسين. Where are your hands to wipe the tears they're crying upon these sands? From thirst these girls are dying. Your banner stands. For Abbas it is calling. Where are your hands? Where are your hands to wipe the tears they're crying upon these sands? From thirst these girls are dying. Stands. For Abbas it is calling. Where are your hands? Is it the day of judgment? Fires are burning your tent. They cry, holding my garments. Abbas, Abbas. They saw your flag had fallen. Confused, they're only children. One name by them is spoken. Abbas, Abbas. Their skin covered no longer white. In ashes, their eyes were shut and set alight.
in pieces, running from your tent in the fray. It crashes, it cannot be that the tent of Abbas falls, it cannot be. These queens unguarded by walls, it cannot be. No, Abbas answers their call. Where are your hands? Where are your hands? To wipe the tears they're crying upon these sands. From thirst these girls are dying. Your banner stands. For Abbas it is calling. Where are your hands? The last thing they remember, on his horse the flag bearer, leaving to bring them water. Abbas, Abbas, auntie, has he not come back? Our tongues from thirst have turned black. They faint, resting on my back. Abbas, Abbas, how many hands tug on my dress? Oh brother, I raise my hands, may Allah bless them. Water in the form of our courageous flag bearer. Where are your eyes to gaze upon our anguish? Where are your eyes to watch the fire flourish? Where are your eyes whose sight makes despair vanish? Where are your hands? All together. Where are your hands to wipe the tears they're crying upon these sands? From thirst these girls are dying. Your banner stand. For Abbas it is calling. Where are your hands? Could it be that your two palms that ripped apart all our harms are not attached to your arms? Abbas, Abbas, could it be that an arrow has broken your sister's bone, and blood from your eyes would flow? Abbas, Abbas, did your body fall to the ground? It's shaking from Hussein's back. I hear a sound, it's breaking. Has our Uncle Abbas befell? They're asking, Lord, give him wings to fly towards these children. Lord, give him wings, carrying water with him. Lord, give him wings. From his wings they're fast broken. Where are your hands? Where are your hands to wipe the tears they're crying upon these sands? From thirst these girls are dying. Your banner stands. For Abbas it is calling. Where are your hands? Where are your hands to wipe the tears they're crying upon these sands? From thirst these girls are dying. Your banner stands. For Abbas it is calling. Where are your hands? Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Abbas, your severed arms they carry me. Abbas, they pierced your eyes so I can see. Abbas, your sacrifice has set me free. Abbas, my tears can swell the Euphrates. Hussein's protector, falsehood rejecter, Islam's defender, none can contest your loyalty. None can contest your loyalty. Abbas, your severed arms they carry me. Abbas, they pierced your eyes so I can see. Abbas, your sacrifice has set me free. Abbas, my tears can swell the Euphrates. Hussein's protector, falsehood rejecter, Islam's defender, none can contest your loyalty. None can contest your loyalty. A warrior well known, his brother's backbone, God's servant who's shown they are chosen by his throne. They are chosen by his throne. A warrior well known, his brother's backbone, God's servant who's shown they are chosen by his throne. They are chosen by his throne. A warrior well known, his brother's backbone, God's servant who's shown they are chosen by his throne. They are chosen by his throne. But enemies had planned their arrows, cut hands. Abbas would withstand, and his blood mixed with the sand. And his blood mixed with the sand. Our celestial light, the moon of the night of the Hashemite son of Ali. And there was no fight from which he would fright all hope inside. Such bravery to quench their thirst. He is the first, his love immersed in only one. Haydar, Haydar, Abbas, your severed arms they carry me. Abbas, Abbas, your sacrifice has set me free. Abbas, my tears can swell the Euphrates. The righteous leader, the truthful seeker, the children's keeper, none can contest your loyalty. None can contest your loyalty. I ask for more, my heart I'll pour. I ask for more, my heart I'll pour. Just let me soar. Abu Fadl, you're the door. Abu Fadl, you're the door. And none can appraise. Your love that's ablaze, honor me, your gaze, as I give my Lord his praise, as I give my Lord his praise. Remember my plea to serve an army against my Yazid. Help me serve the Mahdi, help me serve the Mahdi. Ya Abbas, we yell, in grief we dwell, as we say farewell to Zainab's guard. Karbala's night, with a flag upright, an eternal fight. Ruqayya's strength, shadow of Karar, Zahra share a star. You are near and far, O valiant chief. Abbas, 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 your severed arms they carry me. Abbas, they pierce your eyes so I can see. Abbas, your sacrifice has set me free. Abbas, my tears can swell the Euphrates. Hussein's protector, falsehood rejecter, Islam's defender. None can contest your loyalty. None can contest your loyalty. Abbas, your severed arms they carry me. Abbas, Abbas, your sacrifice has set me free. Abbas, my tears can swell the Euphrates. Hussein's protector, falsehood rejecter, Islam's defender. None can contest your loyalty. None can contest your loyalty. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. How do we bear to see him? Abbas, our fallen moon. How do we bear to see him? Abbas, our fallen moon. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. How do we bear to see him? Abbas, our fallen moon. How do we bear to see him? Abbas, our fallen moon. Zainab has fallen, Hussein's back broken. Oh dear uncle, you are our chosen. Has the flag fallen? And I yell Baba, Abbas and Hussein. No need for water, I want my uncle. You left with two arms, returned with no arms, Ya Abbas. You left with my wish to bring us water, Ya Abbas.
But now you've left my heart broken for you're gone, Abbas. But now you've left my heart broken for you're gone, Abbas. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Inna lillah ilayhi raji'un. How do we bear to see him? Abbas, our fallen moon. How do we bear to see him? Abbas, why is he upon my father's chest? Oh, I see my father with arrows, mother. Where is his brother? And I yell, Baba, Abbas and Hussein, where have they gone? Oh, I want my uncle. They've chained me up to a camel's back, Ya Abbas. Why are their bodies laying on these sands, Ya Abbas? Oh, now you've left my heart broken for you're gone, Abbas. Oh, now you've left my heart broken for you're gone, Abbas, Ya Abbas. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Inna lillah raji'un. How do we bear to see him? Abbas. How do we bear to see him? Abbas, our fallen. Do they not know that is the neck that our prophet kissed? Heaven's final bliss I see from above. So I yell, Baba, Abbas and Hussein, where have they gone? Oh, I want my uncle. They ripped my earrings right off my ears, Ya Abbas. They cut his finger to steal a ring, Ya Abbas. Oh, now you've left my heart broken for you're gone, Abbas. Oh, now you've left my heart broken for you're gone, Abbas. Yeah. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. How do we bear to see him? Abbas, our fallen moon. How do we bear to see him? Abbas. Oh, do they not know that this is the son of Ali and Zahra, the Prince of Heaven? Oh, the oppression, and I yell, Baba, Abbas and Hussein, where have they gone? Oh, I want my uncle. I wait for the day Al-Quds is yours, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla. I wait for the day justice is served, Ya Mawla. I ask for you to come in my life, Ya Mawla.
I ask for you to come in my life, Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. How do we bear to see him? Abbas, our fallen moon. How do we bear to see him? Abbas, our fallen moon. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إلهي عظم البلاء وبرح الخفاء وانكشف الغطاء وانقطع الرجاء وضاقت الأرض ومنعت السماء وأنت المستعان وإليك المشتكى وعليك المعول في الشدة والرخاء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد أولي الأمر الذين فرضت علينا طاعتهم وعرفتنا بذلك منزلتهم، ففرج عنا بحقهم فرجا عاجلا قريبا كلمح البصر أو هو أقرب. يا محمد يا علي يا محمد اكفياني كافيا وانصراني فإنكما ناصران. يا مولانا يا صاحب الزمان الغوث 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 أدركني 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 الساعة 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 العجل العجل العجل. يا أرحم الراحمين بحق محمد وآل الطاهرين.
Thank you, brothers and sisters, for joining us. Just a quick announcement, inshallah, for the brothers and sisters that are coming nightly. We ask you, please do not park in front of the neighbors' homes. You could park on our side, the parking lot, but please, just as a residential area, we always want to respect our neighbors, and we want to give them the space as well. So if you could park on Hadi Institute side or the parking lot for the future nights, inshallah. We hope to see everybody tomorrow, inshallah.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken, my heart is torn. My body's broken, my heart is torn. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, I'm not alone. My body's broken.